The quest for connectivity. Access to the internet has become increasingly important in an expanding digital world. For Gainesville, a future where every resident is connected may soon be possible. According to Statista, over 4.5 billion people are active on the internet as of January 2020. Roughly 285 million people in the United States have access to the internet, or 87% of the population. This leaves over 40 million Americans without access. In 2016, a United Nations report declared internet access a human right and condemned countries for restricting or limiting citizens from getting online. However, people still face a variety of barriers before obtaining connectivity. Today, the average monthly price of internet in the United States costs around $60 per month, with some plans running upwards of $150. Combining cable TV, phone service, and internet, commonly referred to as a triple play, can raise the prices even more. A 2019 study commissioned by the City of Gainesville found that the incumbent providers for the city, AT&T and Cox Communications, are charging some of the highest overall rates for the triple play in the country. The city decided to finance the study in an effort to close the digital divide, the ultimate goal being for the city to own and operate its own internet service, otherwise known as municipal broadband. Municipal broadband has been a recent trend for municipalities seeking greater control and reach over their communication systems. It can attract business, educate children, and improve the quality of life, according to Telco, a publicly traded telecommunications provider. There are 7 major models for municipal broadband: public policy only, public services only, public service provider, open access provider, infrastructure provider, business retail provider, residential provider, and public-private partnership. Here are the 7 models. Before Gainesville can decide which model it should use, it must actualize the hurdles that lie ahead and figure out how to solve them. The 2019 study published by CCG Consulting details 3 major problems. The primary problem is financing. The cost of building a fiber network in Gainesville could range from $113 to $213 million, depending on its reach to surrounding areas. Another issue would be the pushback from incumbent providers, AT&T and Cox Communications. It can be expected that they would try to derail any plans to secure their market share, according to Doug Dawson, president of CCG Consulting. Certain Florida laws will also complicate matters. Existing statutes create a series of hoops for a city to jump through before launching a retail fiber business, according to the study. Fortunately for Gainesville, it can look to various other cities that have already set up municipal broadband systems as examples. The most popular case of a city's fight to own its internet service was in Chattanooga, Tennessee. In Florida alone, several cities have already set up some form of municipal broadband. Each story serves as a guideline on what Gainesville should and shouldn't do. And then here we have the map. Chattanooga became the first city in the United States to operate its own public fiber optic network, and subsequently became an example for many cities to follow. In 2010, it began offering the gig, a 1 gigabyte per second internet service. By 2015, it was offering up to 10 gigabytes per second, the fastest in the country at the time. The average download speed in the United States is 33 megabits per second, according to the 2019 speed test. Chattanooga's internet operates at speeds roughly 30 times faster than the national average. On top of quicker speeds, the city manages to keep prices lower than all of its private competitors. Plans start at $58 per month for 300 megabytes per second, $68 for 1 megabyte per second. Just as the CCG study predicted for Gainesville, the path to municipal broadband wasn't clear for Chattanooga either. Telecom lobbyists fought tooth and nail to slow down the growth of the gig. Comcast unsuccessfully sued the city's utility in 2008 while developing the service. In 2007, a bill was passed in Tennessee that created a $45 million grant initiative that was subsidized private corporations rather than municipalities for fiber expansion. This was seen as a major blow to the city's broadband network, according to Christopher Mitchell, director of the Community Broadband Networks Initiative. In an interview with Vice, Mitchell said that Tennessee will literally be paying AT&T to provide a service 1,000 times slower than what Chattanooga could provide without subsidies. The current state of Chattanooga's broadband network is strong. Although the expansion to rural areas has been restricted, the gig is operating at high efficiencies for residents of Chattanooga. From 2011 to 2010, the municipal network directly resulted in the creation of between 2,800 and 5,200 new jobs and earned Chattanooga between $865 million to $1.3 billion, according to a UT study. There are numerous ways a city can adopt a municipal broadband system. However, this does not mean all cities should attempt to set one up. St. Cloud, Florida provides an excellent example of how a city might not be prepared to start its own network. St. Cloud opened CyberSpot to residents and small businesses in 2004. It expanded to citywide internet service in 2006. Unlike Chattanooga's operation, CyberSpot was free for residents. The network's infrastructure was financed through money saved by supplying free internet to city employees rather than paying an internet service provider. The annual cost for the city's network was about $600,000 and was paid through tax revenue. Initially, CyberSpot was working great for St. Cloud. Residents were either entirely dependent on it or supplementing it with their current ISP. The main goal of CyberSpot was to develop the economy, according to Eric Knoll, United States Policy Manager at Access Now. With immediate success, the city quickly decided to expand its reach. This ultimately led to CyberSpot's demise. Residents began to notice much slower connection speeds during expansion. Eventually, budgeting problems forced the city to end its free internet service. Florida imposes ad valorem taxes on municipal networks that are not imposed on other public utilities or services. These taxes can render large projects too costly to move forward. In the case of St. Cloud, the laws of the state constricted its municipal broadband network financially to the point it had to shut down. The CCG study predicted this to be another hurdle for Gainesville. Although St. Cloud fell short to finance the network, it is important to note that some citizens opposed its closing. One resident told Muni Networks that CyberSpot cost him a few extra dollars in taxes, but finding a new internet service provider would cost 10 times more. In its time, CyberSpot attracted 77% of St. Cloud's residents to sign up. The network saved the city $3.7 per year and residents $36 per month, according to MRI Consulting. One promising statistic that came out of St. Cloud was the increase of information transferred. In the first year of operation, megabits of information transferred by users increased 470%. This data shows that even though CyberSpot failed, it fostered more internet usage and proved its value to residents. Neighboring Gainesville is one of Florida's most successful municipal broadband networks, the Ocala Fiber Network. The OFN offers 1 gigabyte per second speed service to both residents and businesses. It has a flat rate of $60 per month for fiber to the home and a variety of different business packages. In the late 90s, the Ocala Electric Utility decided to replace eroded copper wires used for supervisory controls with optical fiber. By 2000, the city was realizing all the possibilities available now that it had fiber. With 800 miles of fiber already laid, the city began to service schools, libraries, and residential homes. According to Broadband Communities magazine, Ocala has saved over $1 million annually for the last 25 years. Ocala plans to build out its fiber network, setting its goal to capture at least 30% of an area's population, according to Mel Poole, Ocala Fiber Network Director. Ocala is the seat of Marion County, and the City Council is currently working out ideas how it can expand the fiber network in rural areas outside of Ocala. The state of the OFN is strong. The network is available to all Ocala residents and boasts a 99.9% reliability rating. Gainesville isn't the only city that is still early in the discussion of municipal broadband. 100 miles south is another city ambitious to start its own internet service, Lakeland, Florida. Lakeland commissioned its own feasibility study in June 2019 to look into the idea of setting up a broadband network. The city concluded that it was in a good position to set up its own network. Lakeland already has over 300 miles of fiber cables laid down. They were laid down in the 1990s to support libraries and public safety buildings, according to Muni Networks. A spokesperson for Magellan Broadband, the consulting company that conducted the study, told the Lakeland City Council in June 2019 that one of the most important factors for setting up municipal broadband is the availability of existing resources. Lakeland has a lot of fiber, the spokesperson said. You have more fiber in the ground and on the poles than many utilities have or ever have. It's a major benefit. Former Lakeland Commissioner Justin Troller is at the forefront of this fight for municipal broadband. In 2018 task force meeting, Troller explained the importance of internet as a public utility. I have nieces and nephews, and hopefully we'll have children, Troller said. We need to leave this a better place for them. As in Gainesville, skeptics are worried about the price tag that comes along with the network. Cost estimates for the project range between 110 and 220 million, depending on the reach of the network, according to the 2016 feasibility study. Lakeland is currently in a standstill as it waits for the commission to take action. In a 2019 letter to the Ledger, Toller expressed the need for Lakeland to look towards the future. The choice is clear, Toller wrote. Lakeland will benefit from our current fiber infrastructure, and the city of Lakeland has a proven track record it can deliver quality services. If the Gainesville City Commission chooses to further pursue a municipal broadband system, it must not only look at the adult residents but also the children. The need for high-speed internet in classrooms is prevalent now more than ever. According to the 2019 State of the States report, more than 95% of school leaders believe that digital learning has a positive impact on instructor effectiveness and student outcomes. Over 99% of schools in the United States are currently connected to fiber. About 46.4 million students have access to the internet at school. In July 2019, Gainesville Mayor Lauren Poe wrote a letter seeking partnerships to surrounding municipalities in the Alachua County School District. Representatives for the school district expressed interest but said they needed more information. Faster internet speeds provided by a publicly owned ISP could greatly improve education for students. There's that. On January 11, 2020, Chinese state media reported the first known death from a deadly new coronavirus called COVID-19. In the following months, a global pandemic ensued. As of April 23, 2020, there are over 865,000 confirmed cases in the United States and over 49,000 deaths, according to the CDC. Leaders at the local, state, and federal levels have enacted different quarantine and stay-at-home measures. People are relying on the internet at home to receive news updates from the government. There's no better time to ensure a community is well connected to the internet than now. With all of these surrounding municipalities requesting more information, the Gainesville City Commission is currently at a standstill in its quest for connectivity. There are no upcoming digital access meetings scheduled for commission. The city leaves the city with two big private ISPs, Cox and AT&T, and GRUcom. GRUcom is a fiber optic network offered in Gainesville for small businesses and some apartment complexes. It has over 500 miles of fiber laid out in the city. GRUcom offers GatorNet, an all-fiber optic network with 1 gigabyte download speeds to over 40 apartment complexes.